That was a carefully choreographed speech and a real decision by the Biden White House to address this in front of what was supposed to be and was, in fact, an announcement on a potential ceasefire in the Middle East. Is this kind of a new approach to Donald Trump's issues by talking about it out loud?
Yeah, this has been a careful orchestration by not only the White House, but also the Biden campaign. We have really seen them in the last couple days begin to engage more in this trial, more than we have seen them do before. We have seen time and time again from the podium, they say they do not comment on ongoing legal trials. Yeah. And yet we saw the campaign at the courthouse this week, and they're basically saying, for one, we know the media is covering this incessantly. We want a piece of that. But they're also saying that our message and core to Biden's reelection pitch is a threat to democracy. And that's exactly what you saw him do there, sort of undermine some of Trump's attacks against him, blaming him and Democrats for the legal trials against him.
Well, and certainly we saw Trump re-airing very similar rhetoric in regard to those accusations, even though they largely are false earlier today. But he also took the opportunity to take a bit of a victory lap about the fundraising his campaign has been able to do off the back of the jury's verdict yesterday. Here was him at the news conference earlier.
Last night, we just got a report this morning, in the history of politics, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, somebody will find that I'm wrong, maybe, but I don't think so. They raised with small money donors, meaning like $21, $42, $53, $38, a record $39 million in about a 10-hour period.
He said $39 million, Gregory. The campaign had said earlier today it was $34.8 million. Nonetheless, that's a lot of money in a very short period of time. Is that evidence that actually a guilty verdict only works to serve Donald Trump's campaign effort?
Yeah, we saw this time and again last year when we had those successive indictments. And every time he was indicted, two things happened. One is he got a little bit of a bump in the Republican primary polls, and also he raised a lot of money. And we had been talking about, I think we've talked about at this table, that fundraising machine had shown signs of slowing down. Those small dollar donors were getting donor fatigue. If you ever get on one of these political email lists, a fundraising list, or you get the text on your phone, they're incessant, and you can't keep giving and giving and giving. But something like this happens, it really energizes his supporters. And he needed this shot in the arm because he's been consistently trailing President Biden's fundraising month over month until just this past month. And Biden has a war chest twice as big as his. He needs to catch up in the fundraising, and this will certainly help.
Was it smart for this change in strategy for Joe Biden to front load an announcement on an Israeli ceasefire by talking about Donald Trump's legal problems?
Yeah, as Akayla said, he's getting a little bit more aggressive on that. Yeah. I kind of thought his remarks today were a little measured. It was less about Trump and more about the integrity of the legal system that he feels is under attack by Trump. And Joe Biden is an institutionalist. He's worked in Washington for the last 50 years. He thinks the rule of law is important. That was sort of his official message from that White House podium. We'll see if it's a different message once he gets out on the campaign trail.
Well, and perhaps it isn't so much about the words the president actually said in regard to Trump's conviction, but what he didn't say when he was asked by one of the reporters in the room.
That's right.
How he felt about Trump's characterization of him being a political prisoner and Biden being at fault. And all he did was smile. And the Trump campaign has already seized on that and turned it into an ad that is circulating on social media. But to Joe's point, President Biden not only was addressing Donald Trump's conviction, but also today shared a new plan for a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas.
This is truly a decisive moment. Israel has made their proposal. Hamas says it wants a ceasefire. This deal is an opportunity to prove whether they really mean it. Hamas needs to take the deal.
And Akayla, this deal is a three-phase plan that would begin with a temporary 6-week ceasefire. The thing is, the president said today Israel has offered it to Hamas through Qatar as an intermediary. Is Hamas likely to take it?
Yeah, it's hard to overstate how significant this deal could be because Biden laid out that this could have an enduring peace, and that's exactly what Hamas has wanted. They say they want a path to a permanent ceasefire to agree to anything. They have said publicly at least, that they want Israel to stop fighting, period, before they negotiate. But we've been told by administration officials that they're more hopeful behind the scenes, that Hamas may be more open to this deal than they're signaling right now publicly in statements.
Well, that's really important reporting here. This would mean the return of hostages. This would also mean the release of Palestinian prisoners. If this actually happened the way Joe Biden outlined it today, and it's not lost on us that he was the one making the announcement as opposed to Israel, does that create a different feeling among progressive Democrats who have been very upset with him over his Israel policy?
And I think to your point, because this is a 3-phase plan, it is going to be very conditional. Each of those phases has to turn out the way that they want them to in order to reach this permanent ceasefire. But he made this big appeal. He said, everyone around the world who has been calling for this ceasefire, this is your moment to raise your voices. He is speaking to so many of those voters who are disgruntled by his handling, and frankly, an international community that is frustrated with Israel at this time.
Well, and that domestic audience that he was speaking to, is it enough, Gregory, for them to just hear him talking about a ceasefire deal, or does realistically, politically, he need to see the ceasefire done permanently before November?
I see two parts to this foreign policy problem that the president has in terms of domestic policies. One is certainly there's a large number of largely young, largely progressive, multi-ethnic voters who are Democrats who would otherwise vote for Joe Biden, who think he's too close to the Netanyahu government. He's put his finger on the scale for Israel in this conflict. But the other problem is that he's just spending too much time on foreign policy in an era where we have high inflation. People are concerned about the economy. They're concerned about immigration. They're concerned about all these domestic issues. That it's a real problem. I hear this even from the Biden campaign, that they understand that the president's got to get re-engaged on domestic issues, but it's hard to do that when he's still the commander-in-chief, and he's got to pay attention to what's going on in Israel. He's got to pay attention to what's going on in Ukraine, China, around the world.